Imagine you go down to your local gas station right now and you pull up there and you see two crackheads fighting each other outside of the gas station. What are you going to do? You're going to pull out your phone and start recording that shit because it is in human nature to love fighting. Fighting is in our nature. Fighting is in the human being essence, okay? And I honestly believe that MMA is the most entertaining sport in the world, mostly because of just human beings love to watch a good fight, man. No matter if it's just two crackheads on the street or if it's the most skilled fighters on the planet. But all fights are not created equally, right? We all can acknowledge this. There are some fights that are better than others. Some performances are phenomenal performances that we will rewatch for the end of time. And that is what this video is about to get today. Tony Has Died, will be telling you the top 15 greatest fights of all time. Now, before we start the list, I just want to say that this is a little bit of a recency bias list. This is kind of when I became a fan of the sport. These are all fights that I have watched. And not only fights that I've watched, but like, there's not going to be Jones versus Gustafsson. There's not going to be Lawler versus McDonald. I should really just call this video my favorite fights of all time instead of the best fights of all time. But I feel like the best fights of all time is better clickbait. I feel like objectively you have to give respect to the people in the past. So maybe I'll make another video on that in the future. But for now, these are my top 15 favorite fights. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Let's get straight into it. Starting with number 15 on my list, I got Rebecki versus Oralbai. This fight took place at UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi. It was Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. I honestly think UFC 308 is one of the best cards of all time. We had Max Holloway. We had, pretty sure, Hamzat submitted Whitaker on that card. It was a phenomenal card, but I think that this fight was the best fight on the card. And here's why. Okay, these guys were just fucking slugging with each other for 15 minutes straight. And all right, let me just break down the fight. Like, round one started like aggressive. They just both came out aggressive, right? Rebecki pushed the pace early, used his shorter frame to step into fucking boxing range. He was landing quick combos. Oralbai was using his reach advantage, flicking jabs, flicking low kicks. But Rebecki was backing him up, all right? I think Rebecki won round one, all right? Round two. This is where the fight starts to get crazy. Rebecki starts targeting his fucking left eye, like Oralbai's left eye, hitting it and shit. And, you know, I honestly think Oralbai still won this round because he was just fucking hitting Rebecki in the pocket so much, bro. He was just fucking him up in the pocket. And then in round three, Rebecki lands a huge left hand on Oralbai, drops him badly. I thought the fight was over. Somehow Oralbai survives. He shows crazy toughness, survives the fucking third round. It ends up pushing Rebecki back towards the cage at the end of the third round. Now, Rebecki still won the fight and won the third round, but Oralbai showing that he was not going to give up no matter what. Insanity. I will have to say Oralbai did miss weight in this fight. I think Oralbai won round two. I think Rebecki won rounds 1 and 3. One judge gave it to Oralbai round 3. I get it, but not really. I think you have to give the fight to Rebecki just because of how badly he dropped Oralbai. But Oralbai did rally. So this fight was crazy, and it is definitely one of my favorite fights of all time. Number 14 on the list, we got Gilbert Burns versus Hamzat Chimaev. This was Hamzat Chimaev's first real test in the UFC. Yeah, he'd fought other people before, but it was like Li Ji Liang. It was like Gerald Mearshart. It was like GM3, bro. And this was the first real test for Chimaev where he ran into someone who could match his grappling. And I felt like Chimaev, he took Gilbert Burns down in round one. Burns started threatening some oh my God, I cannot even talk. Burns started threatening some submissions. And I guess Chimaev just kind of realized, bro, I'm better than him on the feet. I'm going to slug it out with him. I want to put on a fight for the fans instead of just using his dominating grappling to win the fight, right? But yeah, Chimaev came out strong. He landed like a jab on Burns that dropped him. Then in round two, Burns starts fighting back. He landed a fucking hook on Chimaev. And there was a moment in the round where Chimaev was hurt, bro. And I honestly thought, I don't know if it got scored as a knockdown, but Burns won the round. He had the momentum, he had the striking, he had the damage in the round, so he won round 2. Round 3, Chimaev turns up the pressure, especially in the latter half of the round. He starts landing flurries, push Burns against the cage, maintain like offense. Burns was just fucking tired. Chimaev controlled the third round with the striking completely, dominated Burns in the third round, won the fight. I mean, this fight was just insane from top to bottom. Chimaev was just fucking slinging, bro. And this is the first time we saw Chimaev really face adversity in the UFC. We saw him face adversity in the Usman fight as well. I was thinking of putting that one on here, but I think that this one is definitely more noteworthy, all right? The next fight on my list is Diego Lopez versus Volkanovski. And this fight was great, okay? Round 1, Volk wins round 1. Round 2, Lopez drops Volk in round 2. Round 3, Volk just fucks up Lopez. I'm pretty sure in round 1, actually, Volk stumbles Lopez. Or that might have been at the start of round 2. I can't remember. But he stumbles Lopez. Lopez dropped him. Round 3, Volk goes out there. He wins the leg kick battle, the technical battle. Round 4, it looks like Lopez, he hurts Volk again. And it looks like Volk is running away from him, basically, you know? Like, Volk, he hurts him with, I don't know if he hit his eye or something, but it looked like Lopez hurts Volk again. And then in round 5, Volk, he just takes over the fight once more. Landing crazy. Like, the reason I have this fight on my list has less to do with the fight and more with the moment, you know? These are my favorite fights of all time, right? And just seeing Volk get the belt back after he got knocked out by Ilya, he got knocked out by Islam. Come on, man. That moment was, it was insane. It was probably one of the better moments of the year. One of the best moments in UFC history. Watching Volk get the belt back at the age of 36 against someone who is still great. He just beat Gene Silva. And so seeing Volk get the belt back, it has to be mentioned, man. That fight was special, all right? The next fight that we got to talk about, and I was debating whether to put women's fights in this at all. There have been some good women's fights. I think about that Irene Aldana fight. I think about Rose versus Zhang Weili. I think about basically anything from Zhang Weili or Joanna Jedrzejczyk. And so then I was like, okay, I'm going to put one women's fight in here. And just look at her head. Her head was a balloon. It was a fucking balloon, man. Dude, Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk has to be mentioned in some of the greatest fights of all time. This fight was crazy from top to bottom. Round 1, Joanna comes out there. She's using Chris combos. She's using jabs. She's finding Weili. And Joanna landed some clean counters, but Weili's power in this fight is what really won her the fight. Because anytime that she hit Joanna, she fucking felt it, bro. Round 2, Joanna adjusted. And I honestly think that, I think Joanna won this round for sure. And she was a lot more patient. She kind of started finding Weili in this round. But round 3 is the clearest round of the fucking fight, bro. Because all 3 judges gave it to Joanna Jedrzejczyk. She dominated the exchanges. She dictated the pace. She landed combos. She definitely won round 3. Round 4, Weili comes back hard. And she starts landing hard shots on Joanna. I mean, this is the fight. This is the part where Joanna's head just starts fucking swelling up, bro. And I think in round 5, Weili also won round 5. Now, it was a close fight. It could have gone either way. But I do think Zhang Weili landed heavier shots the entire fight. And she was also the one pushing pace. She seemed to be the one that was trying to... I mean, yeah, she was getting countered a lot. But she was the one that was landing the harder shots. Like, the counter shots were landing, but they weren't hitting as hard as Weili whenever she landed. So, this fight was insanity. Just straight fucking dog war, bro. Straight dog war, dude. But let's talk about the next fight. I got Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Jeff Neal. And this was the first test for Shavkat Rakhmonov, like a legitimate test for Shavkat in the UFC. And Jeff Neal did a very good job of staying composed in the clinch against Shavkat and also landing big shots of his own. And this is when we got to see Shavkat's chin tested full display, you know? This is when we got to see Shavkat eat enormous shots from Jeff Neal like it was nothing. Like, he was getting like, this is why I low-key favor Shavkat in a JDM fight, because JDM, he's going to be able to hit Shavkat for sure, but I do think that Shavkat will be able to eat it, and we've seen JDM struggle in the grappling. And obviously he didn't struggle in the Bilal fight with the grappling, but Bilal can't finish a fly, okay? But I'm getting off topic here. Let's talk about Jeff Neal versus Shavkat. So yeah, I think Jeff Neal definitely won round 1 with the fucking, like, just the power shots that he was landing on Shavkat. But round 2 is where the momentum starts to shift towards Shavkat. He starts increasing his pressure, cutting off Neal's movement, mixing in takedowns. And Neal still is landing in the pocket, but Shavkat in the clinch starts to take over a little bit. And he starts taking the fight to the ground, beating him up on the ground. And then in round 3, Neal, he was still having moments, bro. Don't get me wrong. And this was low-key a comeback win for Shavkat. But Shavkat kept the fight. He kept stalking. He got Jeff Neal. He hurt him. And then he put the fucking, I don't even know. Is it just a standing rear naked choke? I don't know if there was like a different name for it. I think it's just a standing rear naked choke. He didn't even put hooks in or anything, but gets the rear naked choke on Jeff Neal. Unconscious, drops him. Insane fight. And this is when I really became a fan of Shavkat. And I just heard a rumor that he's out for another 8 months. I heard he re-injured his leg again, bro. So, yeah, man. It's been a rough time being a Shavkat fan, man. Let's move on to the next one. We got Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. If you don't love this fight, you're not a UFC fan, bro. Yeah, bro. I like to watch the grappling. I like to watch. Fuck that, bro. And here's something else I want to say about this fight. A lot of people call Michael Chandler terrible. A lot of people like to call Michael Chandler mid as fuck, horrific, awful at fighting. These are all words that have been used to describe Michael Chandler. But when Michael Chandler first came to the UFC, bro, I'm telling you, he deserved to be in the top 5. What he did, the Hooker, obviously Tony Wynn didn't age super well. The Hooker Wynn is aging well. But what he did to them, bro, and what he did in this fight, proved to me that he has that fucking dog in him, all right? And this is just another example of classic lightweight. Like, lightweights have the best fights, bro. We're going to talk about a lot of lightweights going forward. I think we'll have another fight with Chandler and another fight with Gaethje. But round 1, Chandler came out swinging hard, catching Gaethje in the pocket, landing fucking heavy shots on him that were like rocking the fuck out of him, bro. And then Chandler's power and urgency made it dangerous for Gaethje. So Gaethje was basically getting backed up by Chandler at the beginning of the fight. And Chandler was landing good like counter strikes on Gaethje, right? So Chandler wins round 1. Round 2, Gaethje begins to find his rhythm. And this is kind of where the technical Gaethje starts to come in. You know, we always call Gaethje a fuck, like, he doesn't give a fuck. Well, this is where we saw a technical Gaethje, and it really works against someone like Michael Chandler, who is not technical at all. I know I just glazed Chandler, but we'll talk about that moment in a second. But they are both training with each other, and yeah, I think Gaethje definitely won round 2. Round 3, pretty sure this is the round where Gaethje drops Chandler because Chandler is the one telling him to punch him in the face as hard. He's like, punch me in the face. Punch me in the face. And he punches him in the face and drops him. Like, surprise, surprise. He landed better shots. He landed better leg kicks. Gaethje won this fight on volume and outlanded Michael Chandler. And, I mean, Michael Chandler did rock Gaethje at one point in this fight as well. So, I mean, this was just a crazy fight from start to bottom. From top to bottom, this was a crazy fight to watch. The next fight I want to talk about is Poirier versus Holloway 2. And I'm going to be honest, this fight was really hard to score round by round. It was obvious that Poirier was better throughout the entirety of the fight. Like, I think Poirier won round 1, round 2, round 4, round 5. I think Holloway definitely won round 3, but there are, all of these rounds are close rounds. Like, it's not like Poirier just completely shut out Max Holloway, took a break at round 3, and then came back and fucked him up, right? The fight was competitive the entire time. And it was impressive because Holloway, he took this fight on 6 weeks' notice. He did not properly bulk the lightweight, and he still put up a crazy fight against Poirier, who was coming off of the Dan Hooker win. I'm pretty sure it was either the Gaethje win or the Dan Hooker win. Poirier was coming off of it this time. But yeah, rounds 1 and 2 are super easy to give to Poirier. But rounds 4 and 5, those are both swing rounds, and there are arguments, but I don't think you can give both rounds to Holloway. Like, if there's 2 swing rounds, you got to give one to one guy. I mean, that's how robberies happen, bro. If there's 2 swing rounds, you got to give the other swing round to the other. Like, you see what I'm saying, right? Like, if there's 2 swing rounds and one guy already won 2 rounds and one guy won 1 round, you got to give the one of the swing rounds to one guy and one of the swing rounds to the other so that the fight is fair. But Poirier basically dropped Holloway in the second round of this fight. And Holloway had never been dropped before. I know it didn't really count as a knockdown. I mean, he didn't knock him down. He would have knocked him down if there was no cage. That's the fucking take, bro. But yeah, man, I think that this fight is definitely deserves to be mentioned. These guys went out there, they slugged it out the entire time. And the best moment of this fight, it was whenever it was the 5th round. Poirier gets off the stool early, points at Holloway. Holloway notices Poirier. He gets up and he gets off the stool, and they start the round. Like, they both stand up early because they're fucking warriors. But this is when Poirier won the interim belt. This will not be the last time we see Poirier on this list as well. I think he is the most entertaining fighter of all time. So let's move on to the next one. And I think that Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira is the greatest one-round fight ever. I think that this fight has everything you could ever need in it and more in just one round. Because it's like a comeback, there's a finish, there's knockdowns, and it all happens within 4 minutes. So it's fucking insane. So Gaethje comes out, drops Oliveira, doesn't want to get into Oliveira's guard, lets Oliveira back up. Then Gaethje drops Oliveira again, doesn't follow him up because Oliveira, he's like playing possum, okay? But he still is hurt. Like, he's trying to get the fight to the ground because he knows he's so much better than Gaethje on the ground. But Gaethje lets him get back up again. Next round, not next round. Then fucking there's like they're like exchanging in the pocket. Oliveira hits Gaethje, drops him bad. Gaethje is dazed and confused. Oliveira hops on his back, puts the rear naked choke in, sinks it in, and it just sucks because Oliveira missed weight in this fight, so it technically didn't count as a title defense, but I think everybody and their mama still counts it as a title defense. You know what I'm saying? So, this fight was just, like, from the moment the bell rang, they both were going at each other with full aggression, and holy shit, I cannot talk. Oliveira was the one that came up on top, so, yeah, man, insane fight. The next fight I want to talk about is Daniel Zellhuber versus. And here's my question in this fight, bro. How the fuck did Zellhuber eat 50 unanswered shots and still went on to throw for 2 minutes, bro? Insane. Like, there was a point in this fight where Daniel Zellhuber was completely out on his feet, and the referee had every opportunity to stop the fight. Honestly, bro, he was not intelligently defending himself, and I honestly think that the fight should have been stopped. But I digress. This shit was just fucking crazy. From start to bottom. Like, from the... I don't even know what to say. Because some people can score this fight 30-27. Some people could score a 30-26, 29-28. I mean, some people scored it for Zellhuber. Because you can give Zellhuber the first 2 rounds. You can give fucking Ribovics the last two, like, rounds 2 and 3. You can even make, like, you could score any round of this fight to either guy, but because of just how insane it was. But I think the fucking 40 unanswered shots that Ribovics landed on Zellhuber won him that round. So I definitely think Ribovics won the fight for sure. But from the top, like 306, this was in the Sphere. And we had a pretty disappointing main event in the Sphere. It was Merab versus O'Malley. And we also had Shevchenko versus Grasso. So there was also that Van fight on this card as well. But this fight was just like from start to bottom. They were just fucking trading with each other, rocking each other, almost finishing each other, dropping each other. This is a fight that needs to be remembered forever. And yeah, this fight was fucking crazy, man. The next fight I want to talk about is Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. Now, you could pick 1 or 2. I'm going with 2. I mean, I guess we could just talk about both of them because we got fucking time, I reckon. But nah, let's just talk about fucking the second fight, bro. Because you could honestly, there is an argument to give this fight to Colby. You know, I don't know if you can score. I think it was round 3 that he dropped him in. Let me just check real quick. It was round 2. I don't think you can give round 2 to a 10-8. Because, yeah, he got dropped twice, but he recovered super well from both of the drops, and he got right back into the fight as soon as he was dropped. But I think Usman clearly won round 1, 2, and 5. No, I mean, 5, honestly, bro, 5 could be Colby's round as well. You can honestly give rounds 3, 4, and 5 to Colby. Those are all swing rounds. I think you have to definitely give round 4 to Colby. But man, round 5 was such a close round. And there is an argument to give Colby round 3, 4, and 5. And I don't think round 2 was a 10-8. But that is a stretch to give Colby the win in this fight. Because he did get dropped twice. He did get rocked. But he was rocking Kamaru in this fight. They stayed on the feet the whole time. They were both grapplers. They decided not to wrestle. What more is there to say about this fight? Besides, I highly recommend anyone that's just getting into the sport now to go watch this fight. Colby versus Usman 1 and Colby versus Usman 2. The next fight I want to talk about is Khalil Rountree Jr. versus Alex Pereira. I have the poster of them on my wall, UFC 307. We're not even, people forget, man. Raquel Pennington was robbed against Juliana Pena brutally. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Chimaev versus Khalil Rountree Jr. And the reason this fight is so crazy, as much as I hate on Khalil, and that's another reason I wanted to make this video, is because Yuri, Khalil, and Pereira are all fighting this weekend. And, man, they have entertaining fights every single time. So, Khalil, his best win was Anthony Smith. I think he lost to Dustin Jacoby and horrifically robbed him. I'm pretty sure he got outstruck by like 40 strikes in that fight. So everyone was counting out Khalil completely, including myself. And I was like, dude, he's going to get fucking decimated. Pereira opens the fight with a fucking spinning jump kick. Not spinning. He just opens the fight with a front kick, like runs straight at Khalil and tries to front kick him. Khalil wins rounds 1 and 2, and he even drops Pereira in round 2. And Pereira instantly recovers, but they are slinging with each other. But when Alex Pereira hit flow state in round 3, it was over. What Khalil does is he uses his energy. He's a ball of muscle. He uses his energy at the beginning of the fight and just exerts it as fast as he can at the beginning of the fight, right? He used it, and he definitely did not pace himself at all, because I think he was banking on finishing Pereira, because he knows he can't beat Pereira over 5 rounds. He has to knock him out. He's been knocked out before. So that was Khalil's game plan. Go in there, knock out Pereira early. He couldn't. And Pereira starts to take over. He lands crazy body shots on Khalil. He's tearing up his legs. He hits flow state. Khalil's trying to counter him. Pereira's just in his fucking zone, landing whatever he wants on him. And he ends up hitting Khalil with 2 body shots and then an uppercut in the 4th round. Finishes the fight. Puts him away. And yeah, man, this fight was insanity from top to bottom. And it was crazy because Khalil, I think he's going to beat Yuri this weekend. I hate to say it, but he is a good fighter, and he proved he was a good fighter in this fight. So, yeah. The next fight we need to talk about is, I think we're at number 3. No, this is number 4. Poirier versus Chandler. And I think that this is the greatest 3-round fight of all time. Because what more can you get from this shit, bro? Round one is insane. Round 1, Chandler goes out there. He hurts Poirier. He starts landing on him like crazy. He looks like he's technically out masterclassing Poirier in every aspect. And it just looks bad for Poirier. He hurts Poirier. He backs him up against the fence. I think he thinks Poirier's hurt. He's throwing hooks. And Poirier just perfectly counters Chandler, drops him. And then he almost finishes Chandler at the end of the round. Chandler gets saved by the bell. Round 2, Chandler goes out there. He gets an early takedown on Poirier. He starts beating him up on the ground. But he's like holding his glove. He's blowing blood in his fucking face. He's just you're a fucking cheater, man. You're fucking scum of the earth. You're a fucking cheater, man. This is my house. Madison Square Garden's my, I'm taking a sip of water real quick. But basically what happens, dude. Chandler wins round 2. He lost round 1. He wins round 2 with the grappling, fucking up Poirier on the ground. But he's cheating the whole time. Round 3, Chandler is our idiot. He takes Poirier. He picks him up over his shoulder. He slams him down. And Poirier is able to escape from the position, get Chandler's back. And he gets the rear naked choke. Who ain't got jiu-jitsu? Chandler. Chandler takes another L. Really sucks for him because, I guess it doesn't, because I was like, he's going to have to fight down. But it does. He still gets the fucking Oliveira fight. He gets the Patty fight or whatever. Doesn't get the Chandler, the McGregor fight. But yeah, the fight was insane from top to bottom. I'm glad Poirier won. I met both of these guys in person. I watched Poirier fight live. Yeah, man. Michael Chandler, he listens like the NF. Michael Chandler's walkout song is going to be the Dax. But this fight was fucking crazy. That's number 4 on my list. At number 3, dude, I am a Poirier glazer, all right? This used to be my favorite fight of all time, but I got 2 more fights that are better than it. I think that this fight was 2-2 going into the 5th round. The second round of this fight might be the greatest round of all time, where Poirier was just cracking Hooker over and over and over again. And Hooker, he lost years off of his life in this fight. And in the round 2, he was getting dominated in the striking. And he just rallies. He just fucking rallies, bro. And he fucking starts landing a crazy combo to Poirier against the fence. Throwing the, everyone's seen the fucking clip. And this was at peak COVID too. And during peak COVID, it's like we can hear every single exchange and every single body shot and every single fucking strike land. And it's crazy. And so this was like, as much as I hate on the Apex, it is cool to be able to hear the shots. I'm a little over it now, but when it first came out, it was insane, Like hearing strikes being landed, you can hear the coaches yelling and shit. It was cool at first, all right? But it was just like, this fight was, they just slung the whole time. They literally were just, and they both ate huge shots from each other. At the end of the fight, it was clear Poirier won, I think rounds 1, 3, and 5, or maybe it's round 1, 4, and 5, but it was 2-2 going into the 5th. Poirier wins. He obviously is outdamaged Hooker. Hooker has like CTE by the end of the fight. How about that, Dan? Kind of a dick from Dustin, but Hooker talked a lot of shit leading up, so whatever. This fight was crazy from top to bottom. This is a fight this is the fight I show my fucking casual friends to try to get them into the sport, And if you don't like this fight, I don't know what to tell you, bro. The next fight, this is my second favorite fight of all time. Van versus Royval. Now, I just said that Chandler versus Poirier might be the greatest 3-round fight. I think this one's better. Just because of the situation that this fight, like the storyline was insane. Because the storyline was like, Joshua Van, he's taken this fight on short notice. He was supposed to be Manel Kopp. 3 weeks notice. Number 12 guy. He's fought 5 times this year. He lost to Charles Johnson not even like a year ago. 1 year ago, he got knocked out by Charles Johnson. He got 5 fights in a row. Got into the rankings. He takes the number 1 contender fight against Royval. And he wins in the 3rd round in the last 30 seconds of the fight by dropping Royval. I think this was the most strikes ever landed in flyweight history, if I'm not mistaken. They went out there and they just banged it out. What is there more to say? I think that Van won round 1. Royval won round 2. It was 2-2. Not 2. It was 1-1 going into the 3rd. And it was a pretty close round. Round 3. And No. I think Van won round 2. Fucking dude, hold up. Let me look it up, bro. I know this is like, bro, it's my favorite fight of all time. You should know how it's scored. I literally have rewatched every single one of these fights in anticipation for this video, so I'm getting them mixed up. I didn't get it mixed up. I knew it. Van won round 1. Royval won round 2. There is an argument Van could have won round 2, but two judges had it for Van rounds 1 and Royval round 2. But round 3 is an even round. It could go to either guy. And Van, he lands the overhand right of the century, drops Royval, lands crazy ground and pound on him, finishes the round strong. I just wish this was 5 rounds. Like, I wish we could have seen it go into the 4th and 5th. It was insane. I know it's short notice, so it's kind of fucked up to say that, but insanity from top to bottom. Royval, he gained the respect. Royval had 2 or 3 title shots up to this point. He still didn't have like 60,000 followers. He gained the respect of the fans. He gained notoriety in this fight, even though he lost. Van showed he's a dog. He's getting the title shot versus Pantoja. He's my favorite fighter right now, Joshua Van. He just is a real one as well, bro. He's like he's a good guy too, bro. But yeah, this fight was crazy, bro. Joshua Van Enjoyer is what I should change my name to. And I think that this is the greatest fight of all time. Jiří Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira. And honestly, it's not even close, man. Like, you look at all these great fights that we have on this list, and they are all phenomenal in their own right. But then you look at Jiří versus Glover, and it is the greatest fight of all time, bro. Like, they both threw caution to the wind, and they both just went out there and said, I am going to fucking die. They slugged it out. There were so many moments. We saw grappling in this fight. We saw knockdowns. We saw striking. We saw everything in MMA that's entertaining. And we also got a comeback victory for Jiří Prochazka, who is, I don't think he has 0 submissions on his entire resume. Got a submission over one of the best submission artists in light heavyweight history, over Glover Teixeira, who was on his way to win the fight. Jiří locks in a rear naked choke, chokes Glover Teixeira. Teixeira taps. He was down in the 5th round. Like, it was 2-2 going into the 5th. Glover rocked Jiří in the 5th round, hurt Jiří, and Glover would have won the round most likely if he just got out of this position. Jiří sunk in the rear naked choke and tapped out the champion, Glover Teixeira. Yeah, man. He got the belt in this fight. How can you not love Jiří Prochazka after watching this, man? I wish him the best in his fight against Khalil Rountree. But that will do it for the video. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.